What's up, Broncos Country? This is Jay Weaver here with the Buck Your Feelings podcast. We got some really good feelings to buck today. The Denver Broncos with a victory 28-14 against those Carolina Pussycat Panthers. Fantastic performance. Kind of felt like a preseason game at times. We're going to get into it. I'm super excited to, have positive vibes coming from our team today. So without further ado, let's get into it. This is the Buck Your Feelings podcast on the Orange and Blue Network. Let's go. Feeling myself tonight, folks. 28-14 Denver Bronco victory. And it felt good. It felt good going out there in a game where we were supposed to win. We were supposed to trample this team, and we actually, fulfilled that obligation. As I said in the intro, it kind of felt like a preseason game at times, which is not a bad thing because, we were in complete control of this game. And that now makes two games back-to-back where we feel like, we're in full control. And that is as good of a feeling as you can possibly get. So huge victory for us. Again, 28-14. Bo Nix playing out of his mind. But, the fingerprints on this game are all over, in my opinion, Sean Payton. Because we have another iteration of Sean Payton giving the full autonomy to Bo Nix to have a full play sheet. We got to see a lot of similar plays, a lot of similar formations than what we saw in New Orleans. New Orleans was kind of the coming out party for Sean Payton's playbook this year in Bo Nix, or at least the relationship between those two entities. And I'm really happy to see that we stuck to our grounds in that, and we didn't take a step backwards as far as dumbing the play calling down for Bo for another week here. Just a huge game out of Bo Nix. 3 passing touchdowns, 284 passing yards. It looks like 28 for 37. So, 124.2 quarterback rating. That's about as good as you can get. I can't say this for sure, but I can't imagine Bo Nix has had a better game in an overall sense than this game. But again, this was an opponent we saw coming. This was an opponent that, we should have done this too. So it's just nice to see the full spectrum of it. And speaking of, there he is, Johnny Mile High Viking Baki. Welcome to the Buck Your Feelings podcast. How are you, sir? How you feeling after this stellar victory for the Broncos?
Well, first of all, on top of the stellar feeling that I'm having for the victory for the Broncos, it's good to see another dub above you there, Jay.
Oh, yeah.
I watched the game while sitting at a picnic table at my church on my phone. We were having a bonfire and hayride, and it was a chili cook-off with we had like 22 different crock pots of chili. And I may or may not have eaten my weight in chili tonight in different forms. I tried Mexican chili, and then there was a venison chili that was amazing, and several others. I ate myself almost sick. So on top of the feeling of euphoria I have watching Bo Nix and the Broncos put together a complete offensive defensive game in which Bo Nix threw was it 3 or 4 touchdowns? 4, right? No,
3.
3 touchdowns. First time in his career.
Yep.
I'm on cloud 9, and I'm really, really full.
No. And as I was saying, getting into this game, like, this was a game we should have dominated. It felt like a preseason game at times because I feel like the final score was we were going to win this game no matter what.
Absolutely. And the thing was, like, we were talking about it during the pregame show today. We discussed it a bit, and we came, everybody was like, they were saying this is either one of those games that we're going to just run away with, or it's going to be really close. And I was like, no, you knock on wood, because it can't be close. Because This is a game that we are double, for the first time in over a year, we were double-digit favorites to win a game. I'm like, we are set to win this. And if we let them get close, it's going to be more embarrassing than if we lost, in my opinion. Or just as embarrassing.
Nope.
So we did exactly what we were supposed to do. They got out there. I mean, my God, the utilization of the tight ends, Jay. We used our tight ends, and our tight ends got the job done.
So that's probably my biggest takeaway. We got kind of a different spin but we still got the full playbook from Sean Payton today. And if you remember when I said on Nothing Rhymes on Tuesday that I had a little bit of scariness to this game of like, ooh, do we like dial back the playbook and simplify things after the New Orleans game because Sean Payton just wanted to flex his muscles on New Orleans? Like, were we going to take a step back? And we absolutely didn't. Like, he kept going with the Sean Paytonisms, and this game was littered of Sean Paytonisms, all the way going for the most classic Sean Payton move in the world. At the time, I believe we were up 21 points, and we try a fake field goal. So Sean Payton.
Hey, listen. Hey, the Panthers tried a fake punt. So Sean was like, I'm not going to let you try to do me like that. Now, in all fairness, though, it didn't work. Lucas Kroll still ended up short of the line.
But I love it. But I love it. It's such a dick waving move of I have superiority and I'm smarter than everyone. And
the dick flying.
If we were allowed to do onside kicks unannounced, I guarantee we'd have at least 2 by now. That's just the kind of coach Sean Payton is.
Yes, but this whole and I'm sorry, I absolutely hate. I think that's I like the new kickoff rules. I like the landing zone. I like that the players can, that the teams cannot move until the ball's been touched. I love all of that. I do think, however, it is ridiculously stupid and completely ruins the strategy of the game that you have to announce an onside kick. It is pathetic, and it is a stupid rule.
It is. And it affects our team almost more than any other team because we have a history of doing such things with our coaching staff.
Absolutely.
So I'm just so happy. Not even necessarily like Bo played out of his mind. The stats look so clean and efficient for Bo in our offense, but it's just it it just reeks Sean Payton just continuing to trust his quarterback, continuing to get the training wheels off, and continuing to just allow Bo to play, loose.
As I've been saying it every week in, week out, he's letting the leash out a little more each week.
A little bit more. You're right.
And I honestly can say I believe by week, what was this, week 8?
Yep.
Make it week 11. By week 11, I think Sean Payton lets Bo off the leash.
Fully.
Yeah, I think so. And maybe not a whole game, but he's like, okay, you know what? Go call a drive. I want to see what happens when you call a drive. And I'm here for it. I want to see it. I hope it happens. I'm making a prediction. I could be very, very wrong. But that's what I'm hoping for.
Well, and we also got to see on National Tight End Day, Adam Troutman finally coming through and
several times. And in fact, I've got the key plays of the game going on up right here, right now. Just saw that beautiful run down the sideline catch he made.
Yep.
And on top of that, then the one-handed touchdown catch. What?
For all the the whispers of tight end trade market for us up until the deadline here, to me, this kind of means Sean Payton saying, I'm good. I just need to highlight myself. Like,
maybe
we need to give opportunities. There had been a lot of instances in previous games where we didn't even give Troutman the chance to get involved. We actually gave opportunities to that position group, and that's from a play calling standpoint. That's not talent.
And there's the Adam Troutman one-handed catch in the end zone. Beautiful.
Yep.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. However, I would not say we're out of the market either. If the opportunity to say maybe go get a David Njoku came up and the price was right, I think they'd still jump on it. Because I like what I saw out of Troutman today. Troutman, Adkins, even Kroll, all three of them. They were all playing well. They did. I still have not seen enough though consistently from the tight end position to just say, yeah, we're good. If there was a chance and the price was right to add a highly talented pass catching tight end, I would take it.
Yeah. I just think that today was an indication that there's more meat on the bone for that positional group than what we originally thought. And I think it's an opportunity, it's an opportunity problem. Like, granted, yes, we played a really crappy defense, but we also called this game in an aggressive style that needs to carry over. And I guess maybe what I was saying on Orange or Nothing Rhymes of that, are we going to carry this aggressive play calling system? The true test will be as we start getting on the road in Baltimore and Kansas City in the next couple weeks here. Like, today's not the greatest gauge on that system of like, where are we on Bo's comfortability?
Which is right there with this question asked by D-Rock. We won, but did we? Yeah, we did.
Of course we did, D-Rock.
Hey, dude. D-Rock, a dub's a dub, bud. And we have seen, and listen, here's what I will say. Okay, for all those that are sitting here like, we were supposed to beat them, and this is, now I'm not saying that's you, D-Rock, but for all those that are just sitting here downplaying this win, like, this is what we expected. It's Carolina. They suck. Bah! We've seen the Raiders beat the Ravens this season. We have seen several. That's the only one that off the top of my head I can. It hits me right now. But there have been several.
Beat the Ravens today.
Yeah, the Browns. The Browns suck. They beat the Ravens today. Listen, we have seen good teams get beat by bad teams, and I'm not saying, I'm not putting us up there in that good team. But we are a good team. We may not be where we want to be, obviously, but we are a good team right now, and we could have been beaten today. This could have been a trap game.
Boy, that first series, little Jordan Humphrey coming out of the gate with a deflating fumble just took the air out of the building.
Oh.
And we could tell right out of the gate of like, oh no, is this our Bronco team like that we're always like, oh shucks, getting used to? And it kind of felt like that Raider game where the Raiders had all the momentum in the world, and then we just snap, we're back. Like, no,
I mean, I
this
was
is
there.
how it's gonna be.
I was there for that. But, you know, and you brought it up, man. The fumbles. Audric, estimate 2 fumbles in 2 games? Dude. 2 lost fumbles. Not just fumbles, lost fumbles. That guy is about to be riding the pine pony is all I'm saying.
He's a crusher. He's the kind of running back that needs to be primary. He can't be a change of pace. And I feel like he's not the kind of running back that you can just give 2-3 carries a game to. I don't know. I think those fumble worries are going to be not as big a deal if we give him significant volume and he gets the Javonte snaps, say in coming years. But it's problematic.
It is, man. I mean, I get it. He's a rookie, but, you know, can't really give him, you know, running back is one of those positions kind of plug and play. You can be young and come into this league as a running back and just be the man. We brought him in here to be that guy who like I always call it Red Rover, plays Red Rover and wins. But problem is, every time he wins, he lets the ball get punched out, it seems. Because that's what it is. It's not like he's just dropping the ball. They're punching it out.
Yeah.
And you know, he's letting them succeed in that every time, it seems. And I'm really starting to get like, come on, man. Like, you want to be on this team. You want to be the guy that we drafted you to be. You got to carry the ball and keep the ball. So
he's a short yardage running back at that. You don't expect that from a bruiser. You expect that from a speedster, a lightning. So it is weird that he has that problem as the type of back he is. But I also want to bring up here a 6'10" Mexican, Adon Diaz, in living breath was at the game. He's having, from what it looks like online, what is it? Sergio Rodrigo, the time of his life.
Yeah.
He's having the time of his life in Denver. So I hope he had fun. This was a great game, I'm sure, to attend. A sure victory. I would sign up all day for a game that we're guaranteed to win, to be in person too. So shout out to you, Adon. Great game. And then we also have Asher D'Angelo in. Let's go with a lot of ha-has, hee-hees and ha-has. You know, good to see. Oh, sorry. Good to see the Broncos beating those which we should beat.
Absolutely.
That's true.
And then, of course, we got Absalom Fayez Ihmoud saying it's all about George Kittle tonight, 49ers. I mean, hey, you know, Absalom, here's to you. That's a new name to us, so welcome to the Orange and Blue crew. Sounds like Absalom is a 49ers fan, and hey, we welcome fans from all fan bases. We have a lot of fun talking, so that's awesome and welcome. Thank you for coming in tonight. Yeah, George Kittle's having a night, dude. You're right. It's National Tight End Day. Absolutely.
It sounds like he's got a couple doll hairs on that prop, maybe. I'm all for that. And all, you know, to that, hey, how about the Broncos being favored as much as they were going into this game and actually covering?
Like, yeah, they covered the spread. Although I definitely lost on the over.
Ooh, yeah. You know, I would have thought we would have scored maybe more than 28 points, but we also looked very conservative.
Well, you know what? I didn't lose on the over. I didn't. You're right. It was 42 points, all-purpose points.
We were very conservative at the end. It's not like we were really pressing.
Well, that was you know, wholly it was we've got the lead. Let's not get greedy and then lose it.
And I just one more quick betting book here. I'm sorry. I got to get this housekeeping out of the way.
You do you, boo-boo.
For those of you that put your 401k on 5.5 over for the Broncos, I mean, come on.
It's going to happen. We're already at 5.
we got this. Second of all, the same exact number for the Colorado Buffaloes, just a side plug here, already at that. You already paid out today for the Colorado Buffaloes at 6 wins. So, like, guys, there's money to be made for the over-unders at the beginning of the year, and at least both my teams are going to be making me money on that over. So,
hey,
super excited.
I'll be making money on the Broncos over 5.5. I didn't put a bet on anything else. Our good friend Blitz B reppin' pops in the house, says, "Hey fellas, what's up, Blitz? How you doing, brother?" Jay, did you already do the sponsor stuff and all that?
I did not. I was too jazzed about the game.
Well, if you guys don't mind, I'd just like to show, we got the dub, and we got to show some love to the sponsor of tonight's show, who also gets you the dub. The link is in the bio below, and that would be dubby.gg, or for Dubby Jitterless Energy Blend. Dubby is absolutely awesome stuff. The Broncos got their dub tonight, and now you can go get your dub. This is Dubby. Dubby is delicious stuff. Comes in a multitude of flavors, and every cup of Dubby has 2 cups of coffee worth of caffeine. But you won't get the jitters or the crash afterwards because Dubby has no sugar. It has no calories. It has no maltodextrin, no fillers, no artificial colors. It's as natural as it can get. It's nothing but amino acids, B vitamins, and nootropics, including their patented nootropic called Neurofactor. It keeps you going strong and sharp in the mind throughout your day. So that's how you get your own dub. But I'm going to make that dub even sweeter because in the checkout, you're going to punch in code, NRWOB10. That's NRWOB10 in the checkout to get 10% off your order. Guys, Broncos got a dub. Get yourself a dub. Oh, wrong one. I clicked the wrong one. There we go. Woo, that was almost nerve-wracking, Jay. I can't believe I did that.
Hey, that'll happen.
Mm-hmm.
So a couple of things. I want to bring up a couple things. Just get this out of the way. Blitz, I don't have a high enough soapbox. Disappointment of Russell Westbrook. That's a whole nother hour-long podcast I could spend talking about that, but you're right. Also, today, with the Browns beating the Ravens, Cameron Parker and I shout out, fellow MHRT guy out there, love his content, but he put it out on Twitter that, like, oh dear, that's actually not really a good thing for us.
That's actually it's a really bad thing for us.
It's a really bad thing because they are going to come back with a vengeance after getting embarrassed in division to Jameis Winston of all people.
They're going to be out for blood.
They will. So I'm scared of this next game, to be quite honest. I'm more confident about the Kansas City game than I am the Baltimore game.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing, though. We saw some amazing things work in favor of the Browns defense against the Ravens offense today. Things, if you really paid attention, because I was able to actually, funny thing, like I said, I was trying to watch our game at a picnic or at a church bonfire. Little harder. I was actually able to sit though and watch the Browns-Ravens game today. And the things that the Browns were dialing up and using that were effective against Lamar Jackson and the Ravens today, we excel at and way better than the Browns do. So yeah, I'm scared. You're right. They're going to be out for blood. There's chum in the water and the sharks are circling. They're not happy, but I still think we can get it done because they may be out for blood, but we are on a 2-game, win roll. We have momentum.
Yeah.
And Bo is starting, I think more than anything in these last few wins, both of which we were supposed to get. I mean, it's not a question. But those kind of wins, I want you guys to think about college football for a second. What is the one thing that almost every Division I, Division II, team does? Every Division I team does every season in college at the beginning of their season.
Fluffers.
Yes, they play a shit team, like a crap Division II team that nobody, Appalachian State or no offense to our Quinn Miners, but like with University of Wisconsin Whitewater or something like that. and beat the crap out of them. Why? Because it builds their confidence. It's not like anybody had any question that Michigan was going to beat, University of Wisconsin Whitewater. There's no question there. It doesn't matter. Getting that win builds confidence. Getting to do things that you don't get to do in the harder games, like today when we saw Bo Nix take a snap and throw it in the over to toss it over to Cortland Sutton, who then launches the ball for a beautiful pass that got us the first down. That kind of stuff, you wouldn't do that the first time against the Ravens. You would not do that for the very first time against the Chiefs because it's either not going to work or you're going to get very lucky. Getting to do that kind of stuff in a game that you are supposed to win, though, that builds confidence. And that kind of confidence can then translate into games down the road. Bo is gaining confidence. We're seeing that. 3 touchdowns today. And he was and by the way, his feet, Jay, did you notice?
So I wrote this down in my game notes of that. Not only did we get the Sean Payton copy and paste of like, all right, let's continue on with this advanced playbook into this game. And we saw in the New Orleans game an inferior opponent, but Bo Nix didn't handle the advanced play calling better. Like his feet looked terrible. He didn't look comfortable. This game, like, oh, okay. Like I got a head start at this now. Like I know what's coming. And Bo Nix looked so comfortable. So much more confident in his reads and taking his time. And I don't.
Well, I mean, he was planting his feet.
Yes.
And the thing is, like against the Saints, who did not have that much better of a defense than the Panthers did today, we saw Bo with happy feet, where he just wasn't getting his feet planted, and it was causing errant throws. Today, we saw him. If he dropped back, he planted his feet before he released the ball. Even if he was about to get hit a few times, there were close ones. And yet,
No, I was just going to say positive and negative as well. But there has to be an association to that we didn't see Bo Nix leading the way with his legs today. There's got to be a difference in mentality for him of being able to be comfortable to sit in the pocket or just sit and plant his feet and just automatically, I'm going to follow my guy. I'm not going to escape.
Yeah, I agree. Sports Media 100 which I believe it's the same exact comment we got from Absalom Ihmoud saying it's all about George Kittle anytime TD, Purdy over 1.5 passing touchdown. Let's go Niners. All right, yeah. I mean, hey, like we said, all fans. It might be the same person. I don't know, but all fans, all fan bases. Here's to you. I like the 49ers. They're probably my favorite team in the NFC. So here's
like
to them.
Hedging going on here, putting the waves out.
Yep. Yep. Oh man, that is a good whiskey.
Victory whiskey.
Yeah, Victory whiskey, but this is it's not my normal Victory whiskey. I've got someone staying with me, and they just went out and got a new bottle today. It's a single barrel, but I don't remember what the brand is. It's good stuff though, and they just brought it to me. That is a damn good bourbon. Okay, yeah. Absalom says yes, it's me. All right, that's what I thought. I was like, that looks like the exact same comment. But I mean, Bo is looking more confident, and that kind of confidence builds because of easier wins, and so I'm not gonna shortchange this win at all, because that could be instrumental in the development of the confidence of a franchise quarterback.
This is the highlight game that we've been waiting for to say, all right, Bo Nix, are you our long-term guy? And there's been a lot of Denver media outlets that have said plainly, even thus far, yes, that's great. You ran for 75 yards and you flashed your legs, but like you haven't had a show out game.
Well, he had it today.
Yep,
he had it today. Bo Nix's coming out party. Welcome to it. We're here. Yep. The guy can run. The guy can pass. Pass accurately. Yeah, I pass accurately and pass well. Let's talk about it. I've got the box score up right now. Bo Nix, 28 for 37, only 9 incompletions. For 284 yards. He didn't bust through the 300 ceiling yet, but hey, whatever. 7.7 on average, 3 touchdowns and 0 interceptions. He did get sacked twice, however. Which, okay, whatever. It happens.
Uncharacteristically, I had completely forgotten, and maybe it's just because Carolina is like the wasteland of NFL players, but Clowney,
Jadeveon Clowney, yeah.
Jadeveon Clowney had completely forgot he existed.
Yeah, big time. So it is what it is. A couple of sacks, whatever. But I mean, God, those numbers, man. Those numbers, and like 3 touchdowns. He's had 3 touchdowns in a game. But guess what? What was it? One of them came on his legs. Yeah. This is the first time. Not a single touchdown the Broncos scored came on the legs of Bo Nix. So again,
he had one rushing touchdown.
Did he? Oh, yep. You're right. He did. I'm sorry. He did.
Yep. So that makes us 4. So we had three in the air, 1 on the ground. But his rush was like 4 yards. He had 5 carries for 4 yards. That's not what we're accustomed to seeing out of Bo Nix. Like, that's what I mean is like he finally said, "All right, I'm going to just work it out in the pocket instead of just escaping." And he's great at it. But like I wanted to see him start planting his legs and be more comfortable in the play calling that Sean Payton's throwing him. And that's what the biggest highlight to me is because I want to see this game plan and this Bo Nix version in big profile games such as what we have coming up.
Mm-hmm. Now, I would just like to say for a moment, we got this comment here by D-Rock asking, show of hands, who feels better about the Ravens game? He raises his hand. I would not say that I feel better or worse. I would say we have to approach it differently now because like we said a little bit earlier, there's now blood in the water and the Sharks are circling. The Ravens are pissed off. They got embarrassed today by the Browns.
Yeah.
And so they're going to be a little more dangerous that way. But then, of course, I also said we saw a defense way worse than ours doing things that we excel at and succeed against the Ravens offense today. So that gives me a lot of hope. And of course, I will say this. I believe our offense to be better than the Browns offense. Maybe, and even if you didn't say better, I would say comparable. And the Ravens defense struggled against them today. So yeah. I would not say I feel better and or worse. I just feel okay going into this game.
And on that note, shout out Jerry Jeudy, double bird to you, bud. But you're right. We have a better offense than Cleveland. But at the end of the day, I think the weakness, the very minuscule weaknesses of our defense could be highlighted by Baltimore in the double tight end set of Isaiah Likely and Mark Andrews. And I mean, Derrick Henry is a scary person. So there are just Baltimore presents issues for us.
Yes, that's why. But I will point out, even with Derrick Henry being Derrick Henry, we do have the best, and I believe this, the best defensive line against the run in the NFL. So, I'm okay there. And yeah, you said it, Isaiah Likely and Mark Andrews. We still have PS2. We still have Riley Moss. Of course, you're going to have to, with tight ends, you got to lean heavily into your safeties to defend the middle of the field against these tight ends. But no, Zay Flowers is not hurt. Yeah, he was in the game today. He caught a I think his longest was a 34-yard pass from Lamar Jackson.
The hierarchy of wide receivers that PS2 has shut down. Ain't worried about that. Like,
no, I ain't worried about Zay Flowers at all. But Blitz also raises his hand in that he feels better about the Ravens game. So, in the grand scheme of things, tiebreakers being what tiebreakers will be, maybe the Ravens losing today was good for us. I don't know. But going into the game, it makes things a little scarier for us.
It does. It does. You know, it's kind of one of those things where the season starts now and we've got a 5-3 head start because it doesn't get any easier starting now. We've got a lot of, if Cleveland is going to be better than what we expect Cleveland to be under Jameis, which I personally think Jameis Winston's going to do wonders for Cleveland compared to Deshaun Watson. Watson's been terrible. Like,
Watson's been a joke.
Cleveland should be so happy that that's over with, whether, however it happened, it's over. Really, the only easy, cheesy games that we have left on our schedule is probably the Raiders and the Colts. That's it.
Yeah.
Every other game is like,
it's going to be a fight. It's going to have to be a fight. Yep. One of my favorite books of all time, The Outsiders, Socias and Greasers. It's going to be a fight.
Stay golden, Pony Boy.
You too. We're doing it for Johnny. We're doing it for Johnny.
D-Rock, I am specifically ignoring your comment. I don't recognize that faker. The Laker.
Oh, buddy. Buddy.
Again, another soapbox a mile high.
Well, hey, listen, you know what? The Nuggets have had a bit of a rough start. And it'll get better. I have no doubt it will get better. Although I do agree with him, dude. Russell Westbrook needs to calm the crud down, man. He's got to, I don't know what. I'm not sure.
Well, he's trying to play hero ball.
And he's got to stop. He's got to understand you're on a team with the reigning 3-time NBA MVP right now. You're not the hero anymore. You're in the 17th season of your career. You're getting old. You are not here to save this team. You are here to keep this team steady. That's why they brought him here. And that's what he needs to remember. So, which, by the way, speaking of the Nuggets, I've already begun the design work and everything. And hopefully the Not Your Toddler's Nuggets podcast will be debuting pretty soon here on the Orange and Blue Network. So Jay and I are excited about it. I know you guys will be too. So, what about the defense, Jay? I mean, we've talked pretty much all about offense.
True. So a couple things. Obviously, Nick Bonito, what a gem he has turned out to be. 6-game streak of sacks. George Payton should be doing a victory lap right now because that was a very questioned draft pick when we made it. It was a quote unquote reach.
I didn't like it. I did not like it at all. I've been anti Nick Bonito up to this point.
Yep.
And then now all of a sudden, I'm never been happier to be wrong.
Yep. He's our best pass rusher. He's our most consistent pass rusher. And he's gonna get a large contract coming up, just in the way he's playing right now. He's got crazy bend. So
and
shout out to him.
Speedy get off.
Yeah, he does. And he plays pretty well in the run. Surprisingly, like he's not the ultra aggressive,
but he steals the edge well.
Yeah, he does.
He steals the edge very well. And the thing is, of course, you can't take anything away from his partner in crime, Jonathan freaking Cooper. I mean, dude,
well.
Jonathan Cooper today, 5 total tackles, 4 of them solo with a sack. 2 sacks on the day, 1 by Jonathan Cooper and 1 by Nick Bonito.
I hope we are getting calls on Baron Browning. I would love to flip him for something, even if it's a 7th. Get something out of him.
I had a lot of hope for him, and when they transitioned him to the edge, when they transitioned him to the edge, it seemed like that was going to be, at the time, it seemed like that was going to be his spot. And then he got hurt, and when he came back, it's been a cliff for him.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if we'll get anything. I don't know if we'll get any offers. Like, that's the truth.
He sure
because
hasn't highlighted well in his two games. Two games. He played in New Orleans, right?
Yeah, he came back in New Orleans, but it's been like he wasn't even there.
Yeah.
Non-factor to the game. I mean, I'm looking at it. I'm looking at this here. One tackle on the day.
Yep. That ain't gonna do anything. That's not
gonna
feed any children.
I'm hearing no, it's not gonna feed any children anywhere. Not even children in Kenya.
Nope.
All right, like it's just been.
So exactly.
But hats off to Nick Bonito. And the thing is, going back to when John Gruden earlier in the season said, by the end of this season, the Denver Broncos defense will be a household name. I still believe that wholeheartedly. And Nick Bonito and Jonathan Cooper will be at least the edge stars of that household name. And, like you said, it's going to garner a fat contract, but it's going to be a good one. And we haven't had that kind of confidence in the edge since Von Miller left. So, I'm very, very happy with it and very here for it.
So, couple notes on secondary. Obviously, we get another PS2 interception. PS2 just doing PS2 things. It is important to note, though, he did get a little burned on the very first drive. Leggett with his touchdown right on PS2. But Legett's a great wide receiver.
He is.
And he is an absolute gem of an interview. If you have a second to look up some YouTube interviews of him, it is hilarious.
And who was that? Like I said, I did my best to watch as much of the game as I could, but there were moments that I was like caught in between.
He's out of South Carolina, and he has the country Xavier Leggett, the wide receiver from Carolina, and he's got the country Southern twang to him. And you look at his face and his body, and like it does just not add up. But he is a hilarious interview. But he's a baller of a player. He's a great wide receiver. He's going to be a number one in this league for Carolina for a while. So he's a very good up and comer. And PS2 got burned. He got burned on a slant in the end zone, and he got a touchdown from it. But from that point on, PS2 dominated that matchup and came away obviously with the interception. So kudos to PS2. Welcome back.
That's 2 weeks of rust. That first drive, that's 2 weeks of rust falling off. He got burned. He walked to the sideline. He shook it off. He got back on the field, and then we saw PS2, who we expect him to be. And that's just what happens, man. Even just in this kind of a sport with the skill level that these guys have to play with, even taking a few days off can be detrimental, can cause, some, a slow start or, some slight mistakes to be made. Skills are perishable. They have a shelf life.
They do.
And when it comes to those skills, you have to continue. It's just like a good knife. I mean, I have this steel knife that I have, and this thing, I mean, you can slice through a roll of paper towels with one swipe with this thing. It is so sharp. But you use that enough without sharpening and hewing the edge, it will dull. And the same can be said, taking a few weeks off. PS2's been basically out for 3 games. If you really look at it. Well, 2, sorry. 2 games, but a long stretch because also because of the mini bye week for us. So, he really hadn't been able to hew his edge a little bit, keep it sharp. He walked to the sideline, he sat down, he said, "Okay, all right. They got me. They're not going to get me again." And he did exactly what he needed to do. He got out there and boom, interception, Pats for 10.
Yeah. The other guy that I want to highlight is Jaquan McMillan. Had one of the most incredible interceptions I've seen in a long time.
Yeah.
One of those kind of interceptions where if he didn't intercept that was probably going to be a pass interference. It was a classic case of like he turned around to the ball at the very last second, and like it's just such a fine line because he had contact with wide receiver. Like it was not a clean, interception.
No.
It just was a complete skill of knowing when to turn around. And I know cornerbacks kind of judge when to get contact when the wide receiver lifts his hands, because that's a tell sign that the ball's about to get there. But like I've never seen a circumstance where a cornerback turns around at the exact same time as the ball getting there. So shout out to Jaquan McMillian.
Yes, sir.
Beauty.
It was glorious, man. And and to come up with the ball the way he did, I mean, he almost lost the ball to the ground, but he held on to it tight. Yeah. That was great. Absalom coming back in. I get the feeling Absalom's really all about bets. Got a lot of money out there in the DraftKings stratosphere. Says, guys, college football, I want to tell you, any team from ACC to make it to the playoffs this season for college football, don't forget to lock it down soon. When it becomes available, I did call it in DraftKings. Okay. Good advice. I don't do much in the way of betting. I kind of stay away.
Yeah. And
I play poker. I play poker. That's about the limit of my betting.
Blindside to the ACC as well. More of a Big 12, Big 10 kind of person. But
I love the SEC. I have a team. I grew up Big 12 with the Buffs, and then I went to college, and my team is SEC. So my college team that my alma mater is SEC. So I'm an SEC and Big 12 kind of guy as well. So.
And then, big shout out to Blitz. He brings up some great points here about the demon himself, Travis Kelce. I think Kelce is Swift Key now. I think with his red uniform on and red lipstick, they could be a power couple. But, he was saying above here that, Taylor took his nuts in her purse. He had only his first touchdown. He has been awful. And really, if we can take the media crap aside, the Chiefs have been awful. They're the worst undefeated team in recent memory that I can think of.
I don't understand how they're undefeated.
They've been squeaking because they're a team that knows how to win. And they're a team that is extremely well coached. And so when they have crappy players that don't execute well, they can make up for it in play calling.
Well, and you can't forget about the most important players that they've added, the players that wear stripes.
Yeah, correct. It is an atrocity watching a Chiefs game from an offensive line standpoint because there is holding and false starts on so many instances that get called for so many other teams. And I have I have a lot of Chief fans because I'm in Nebraska, and so the closest is Kansas City. I have tons of Chief fans as friends, and they don't recognize that. They don't understand that I compare it to the Brady-led Patriots back in the day, where they got just every call in the world for them. But it's going to end in 2 weeks. Like we're done here in 2 weeks because I believe that this defense is going to absolutely toe up against the Patrick Mahomes-led offense. I'm so excited for that game. I'd like to kind of skip over the Baltimore game and go right to Kansas City because there's nothing sweeter than beating the Chiefs.
Agreed. Nothing. And here's the thing. I said this. You weren't here for it, but I said this during the pregame show. I said the Chiefs, yes, are undefeated. That is not sustainable.
Nope.
They are not. I even said I have Patrick Mahomes in fantasy football. And I have benched him 2 weeks in a row for Kirk Cousins.
He's been terrible.
And the thing is, it's because not just the Chiefs with all their injuries. Patrick Mahomes has taken a step back this season. Because one of the things that you think about Patrick Mahomes, one of the things that is constantly being touted about the guy is that even without elite talent around him, he's always going to get it done. Well, guess what? Yeah, they're undefeated, but he's not getting it done without his elite guys. He's not. It's not sustainable. They will not remain undefeated. And I would love to be the ones that hand them their first loss of the season. That'd be great.
It might happen. It really could. But Blitz coming back saying, but the NFL won't dare say that out loud. Mahomes will quit doing commercials. He is the poster boy of the NFL. He certainly is. And hey, if we're looking on stats, Bo Nix catapults above Patrick Mahomes with this performance today. They were about even. They were about even for up until today, but Bo Nix just dominated today, and I guarantee Patrick ain't going to have that performance this week. So
no, he's not. Absalom popping back in. The only team that can beat Kansas City is the Bills Mafia, and ladies and gentlemen, Kansas City Chiefs are going for the 3rd Super Bowl win. Andy Reid is the best coach in the world, and my Patrick Mahomes, best QB in the world. Josh Allen can beat him. Yes. Hey, you know what? It's an opinion. I think I do not take anything away. Patrick Mahomes is a phenomenal quarterback. I love watching him. Drives me nuts that he's on the Chiefs, but I love watching him. That being said, something's off with the Chiefs right now, and this is the time to capitalize for us. We can go out there. We can. It will be hard. I'm not saying it'll be an easy win. It will not. But we can win. We can do it. We can hand them their first loss of the season. Depending on how it goes, they're second. I don't know. But the point of the matter is, they're undefeated, but it's not sustainable. It's not.
Johnny, take this for 1 second. I will be right back.
You got it. Doc Hopper, a new name in the chat to us, says, yo, WTD. What is WTD? Win today? I don't know. Anyway, Doc, welcome to the show. Welcome to the Nothing Rhymes, or to the Orange and Blue crew. We are glad you have joined us. Blitz popping and saying, I can't lie, that Peyton Manning commercial is funny as hell. Peyton Manning, absolutely. I laugh every time I see it. Sorry, Doc. There's the drink for you. Damn, that's a good whiskey. Blitz says, we won't beat them in Arrowhead. The refs won't allow it. Hey, we can overcome bad reffing. We can. Blitz also says, a mysterious PS2 PI will all of a sudden just come up to help the Chiefs beat us. Yeah. Doc asking, yo, where Bronco Bill at? Well, hey, Bronco Bill hosts The Neighborhood. He's one of the hosts of The Neighborhood during the game. Myself and Jay and the other guys of the Orange and Blue Network, we host the Buck Your Feelings post-game show and the Get Bucked game day show, the pregame show. So really, really glad to see you here, Doc. And one Doc to another. I was when I was in the Army, I was a medic, so I was Doc. I have been Doc for many years. So glad to see that you're here. Yeah, Bronco Bill doesn't do the post game. That's our thing. But he did do The Neighborhood today, and I love it. I've loved it when I've gotten to co-host with him on The Neighborhood. Blitz says Bo's balls were all in Sutton's hands today.
Dude, honestly, this was kind of the first game of the year where we started finally targeting and highlighting Sutton exclusively. That was another kind of note that I had overall, is we kind of stopped with the whole let's get Mims involved, let's get Franklin involved, let's get I guess Reynolds, he's far gone here, but Sutton was 1A, and we finally saw our first 1A wide receiver performance out of him this week. A lot of targets, a lot of highlights. Sutton played really well, other than that fumble in the red zone towards the end of the game, which was kind of soul crushing.
Dude, I mean, oh my God, I keep coming back to that as really kind of just brutal. Dude, it makes me sick to my stomach.
Kind of brutal.
It makes me sick to my stomach that Audric Estime 2 weeks in a row fumbles the ball. It's like, dude, come on. We're sitting here trying to show show that we have faith in you. We're sitting here, doing all that, but come on, man.
It was Sutton's slant that he fumbled. Like Sutton fumbled, I want to say on like maybe the 3-yard line or something like that. And he had Sutton's large enough where he could have stretched and got a touchdown on that play.
Could have.
And I that was kind of disappointing, but
I mean, coulda, shoulda, woulda. I suppose it is what it is. They bet. I really hope that they find a way to, address it in the week.
Yep.
Let's see. Doc Hopper says Bronco Bill a real one. I couldn't agree more, Doc. He's a good friend of mine. I love him to death. We talk on the phone very often, and we've co-hosted many shows together over the years. So I love him to death. Absalom saying, you guys are on fire tonight. Your motivation keeps me going. I want to tell you, don't forget Patrick Mahomes still has pain in his left leg. I'm expecting a Super Bowl between the Bills and the Chiefs. Well, that's awesome. I do hear you about the injury to Pat Mahomes. However, it's not possible for there to be a Super Bowl between the Bills and the Chiefs, as they are both AFC teams. So it could come down to a Bills-Chiefs AFC championship. But ultimately it will be, if the Chiefs go back to the Super Bowl, it'll be the Chiefs versus, say, the 49ers or the Vikings, maybe. The Lions. Oh my God, the Lions.
Lions jumping off the page today.
Wow.
Dude, can we talk for a hot second just about the sheer just guilt I have watching Khalif Raymond and Timmy Patrick on the Lions just absolutely killing it. Khalif Raymond should be on this team. It makes me really sad to see success for former Broncos because those were our guys.
Obviously we couldn't, at the time we couldn't utilize their skill sets the way that we should have. And unfortunately it didn't happen here for them. And I wish that it had, although, as a Tim Patrick fan, a guy who has actually been in a room with and sat down and talked to Timmy P in person, wearing sweats, not on the side of the field, not in the tunnel, like in another room elsewhere in Denver. Tim Patrick is an upstanding human being, an amazing guy. And, I had an amazing conversation with him, and he deserves to get out there and have a chance to win. And he's gotten it. This is his chance. And so I'm happy for him. I am happy for him. I hate that it's not here, but it is what it is.
We got Mark from Georgia.
Yes, Mark! It's been forever, dude!
Baki Saki. I have not heard the nickname Baki Saki. Johnny, have you ever even had sake?
Oh yeah. I love sake. When I go out for sushi or something like that, I'll get a nice little jar of hot sake to go with my sushi. There's an all you can eat sushi joint near me.
Ooh.
And and it's good too, because it's we have a couple of them near me. One is the one that runs the little conveyor belt, and you can reach up and grab the sushi you want.
Oh, I like that a lot.
Those are fun, but there's another one near us that is all you can eat sushi, but it's to order. So like the waitress shows up at your table like every 4 or 5 minutes just to check on you, and you look at the menu and be like, you know what, I want to try this one, and they make it fresh to order, bring it to your table. They have sake, and their sake is always half price. So it's like, seriously, I can drink and eat my weight in sushi and sake at that place. It's called Sushi Kingdom, and I freaking love it.
There you go.
But it's good to see Mark from Georgia. It's been a hot minute since we've seen each other. Glad to see you, brother. Definitely have missed you. I'm saying Vikings be hot or Detroit. I take a day off of work and watch the game. They are. They're both very good teams in the NFC right now, which is shocking.
Like the Vikings a lot.
I do too.
The Vikings have a great recipe for success into the postseason.
Absolutely, they do. And if anybody could knock off the 49ers right now, in my opinion, as the favorites to go back to the Super Bowl, it'd be them or the Lions. Those two for sure. I know we're gonna have to give game balls here soon, Jay.
Yep, I was gonna say that's next up here, but
Blitz saying I want Njoku, even though Troutman showed me a little swagger today. Love it.
See, I think Cleveland's gonna stand pat now. Jameis is a player, like he's a vet, and they're very lucky to have him in place of Watson. They're better off, and they have a stellar defense. Cleveland's not dead.
Ours is better.
Cleveland's going to be a sneaky game on our schedule that we are going to have a hard time with, that I think a lot of other people looking at our schedule coming up have circled that says that's an automatic W. That's not an automatic W. Now as well. So look out for Cleveland.
Okay. I'm still not terribly scared of them. I'm not. Our defense is just so good. Our defense is just so good. And they're only getting better.
They're good enough. Njoku's not getting traded now. That's, I guess, my point is it was before.
I'd be okay with seeing something if the price is right. But I'm not going out of my way to make a trade right now. Pablo Ramos.
New name? New name to me, at least.
New name to this show. So here's to Pablo. Welcome to the Orange and Blue Crew.
Yes, sir. Good win, but it was against the Panthers, and you are right. Again, I said multiple times, it felt like a preseason game at certain points because their offense looks terrible. Bryce Young, not good.
They do. But like I said earlier, I'm not going to downplay this win because this win builds confidence in our young guys. We have a very young team.
I feel so bad for Carolina.
Getting a win, getting two wins in a row, whether we were supposed to get them or not, instills confidence, and confidence translates into better play. So, you know what? I'm not going to downplay the win at all. Granted, it will be all over national media. They're not going to talk about this game tomorrow on Good Morning Football. They're not going to talk about it tonight on Sports Center. Nobody gives a damn in the national media about this game. I am not downplaying the importance of it because Bo Nix got to get out there and learn and figure out how to do some things that he couldn't do before this. And now he'll be able to do it against better teams.
And that's a great bridge to what Mark from Georgia is saying, is that Bo Nix continues to grow. Every single game, we get a different version of Bo Nix. We saw Bo Nix deal with the accelerated program, the accelerated playbook last game, and kind of, stumble. Not the greatest thing in the world. And he mastered that today. And it's slowing down for him. We're starting to see different versions of Bo, and it's only getting better with progression.
Every single week. Listen, if Bo is plateauing right now, I'd be concerned. But we are not seeing him go up and then just flatten out. We are seeing a steady progression upwards. We have not seen his ceiling. He is continuing to grow, and that gives me incredible confidence in this kid.
He's our guy.
He's our guy.
He is.
I am not above, if you'd have asked me 4 weeks ago, this week 8, if you'd have asked me at week 4, is Bo Nix the guy that said, I just don't know yet? I'm saying it today, even after a game against a terrible team. Bo Nix is the franchise quarterback of the Denver Broncos.
Well, and you say that because in my perspective, you always look at a season of, have we seen the highlights, the evidence enough to say that? Mm-hmm. And say next week, Bo blows his knee out and he's done for the year. Now, if Bo didn't show out...
Knock on wood, Jay!
Now, if Bo didn't show out up until now when he blows his knee out and he's done, there might be a question to that of we didn't really see anything to support to support him being the guy moving forward, even if he doesn't play another down this year, going into next year in the future. But I've seen enough where if Bo doesn't play another snap this season, I want him my starting quarterback next year.
Sure.
I've seen enough. And that's a big thing. That's a big thing for Broncos country. We haven't had that for so long.
Yes, absolutely. And and we've got people agreeing with us. Our dear friend from the MHRT network, Richie Richey, up in Canada, saying steady progression upwards, like an old dude on Viagra. Absolutely, buddy. Jay, go clean yourself up. Mark, mirrors a comment made earlier in the show that we made. His footwork looked a lot better. He's learning from Sean, and hey, you cannot put more importance on this. We haven't said it. Sean is learning from him because think about this. Sean Payton has always been a very me guy. My way or the highway.
Yep.
Until Bo Nix was the first quarterback we've ever seen get back in his face. Except maybe Drew Brees, but beyond that, no.
Very rare, Drew Brees.
Very, very rare, but we did see it. But the point is, you never really seen quarterbacks other than Drew Brees who are willing to go toe to toe with Sean Payton, and Bo did that as a rookie. He was like, "No, coach, I know what I'm doing." And Sean Payton, while he was probably furious at that moment about it, respected the hell out of it. And now he's looking at Bo going, what are the skill sets of my quarterback and how can I utilize them? So Sean is learning just as much from Bo right now as Bo is learning from Sean. And then Mark says he's taking the training wheels off, which goes right out to what we said earlier about letting the leash out a bit. He needs to needs to do what works for him, play to his skill set. Absolutely. It's incredible.
We've had 2 games in a row, 2 games of Sean Payton full playbook, 2 games of the whole year. So like that's the I guess the appetite still left to come is to, all right, now I want to see the full playbook and our players being put into good positions against good teams moving forward.
Yes.
We still have not seen that.
No, but you know what? We will. All right, because like I said, confidence. We've seen it now. We've seen what can be done on the field. We've seen what we can put on the field against, anybody. We can do it. It's out there. It's on film. Now they can take it and they can go, look what we did. Look what we did. We can do that. We can do that against the Ravens. It doesn't have to be against Carolina that we do that. We can execute that. Confidence.
The next 2 weeks will tell. It's a telltale sign the next 2 weeks. Defense travels. I'm not scared about our defense is going to be great.
Our defense is phenomenal.
I have no shake in that. But our offense, let's see our offense the next 2 weeks.
Yeah. Pablo popping back in. Bo Nix is too young, but playing better. Excuse me, the beer is coming back to say hello. Give him a couple of seasons and he will get much better. Just give him time. I don't know that it's going to take a couple of seasons. I don't.
We are.
I don't.
We've microwaved his development.
And Blitz wants me to say it. He said, say it, Baki. Bo Nix is the fix.
Bum, bum, bum.
Oh, Jay, now I have to. I haven't done it all show, Jay. I had to.
I thought you said go, Bo, go.
I mean, we're one of those at least every single episode.
Got it. You got it. And I'm going to try and find some other really good sound bites for the name Bo.
You might as well.
I only know that one because that's one of my favorite movies of all time.
Now let's bring up the constant professional here in Rich A. He says, "Sorry, Johnny, you're wrong. Sean adapted last year for an inept dwarf. Bo has taken the challenge given to him, and Sean is pushing Nix, not learning for him per se."
Now, I can see it both ways.
I would say that Bo Nix is shooting back at him to say that I would like to have a say in the discussion. And I think that there are a lot of quarterbacks that look at Sean and Sean's pedigree and his, demeanor and say, whatever you want, boss, whatever you want. Like I'll do anything you say. And Bo has a little more of an independent mind. And I think that's what you want in a leader of a team, not necessarily just the quarterback, but just the leader of your team. You want that.
Yeah. And by the way, Rich, I love you, buddy, but I'm going to say that Russ was not a dwarf because I'm a huge fan of Lord of the Rings, and dwarves are like in your face. They may be small, but they're in your face constantly, whatever. No, Russ was acting like a hobbit last season. Like, no, okay, sorry, coach. He was he was ducking his head.
There's nothing I'm waiting for more than the crash and burn that is the Pittsburgh Steelers. They got one game under.
There you go. Fine. Russ was a hobbit. Yes. But he says Nix is a young dude who doesn't know better. He is young and arrogant enough to push back. Hey, I like it. Whatever. Whatever it takes. Because like I said, Sean Payton, I think, respected the hell out of the fact that Bo was willing to go toe-to-toe with him. And at least, whether he was right or wrong in that moment, I think Sean respected the fact that Bo was willing to speak up for what he believed in. Instead of just towing the line, so to speak. Let's see. I had another one. Another one here. Mark from Georgia says, if you didn't notice, he took his eyes off the safety a couple of times. That's great. Yes, he definitely did not betray his intent with his eyes as badly today, which just, again, another sign of progression. It's great. Beyond that, one last one here. I believe one coach in future reference, I say imagine Coach Dan Quinn replacing Sean Payton. I don't see that at all.
No, thank you.
I don't want it. I don't see it, and I don't want it. Nope. Count me out on that one.
Nope.
What about ball? So we've already established, Jay, that Bo Nix has balls.
Yeah, we do need balls. We need to get balls going.
We need to go ahead and give some other guys some balls.
All right, let's get to balls. Balls.
Balls.
All right. It's just the two of us, and it was a very good victory. So I say we each get 3 balls. Yep.
3 balls.
That's what I was thinking. 3 balls.
All balls.
No strikes.
Jay loves balls, says Rich. Jay, love the ball. All right. Hey, you know what, host? You give the first ball today because I've given it the first ball every week for weeks.
All right. My first game ball goes to none other than Nick Burrito Bonito Casa Bonito. We got him 6 games in a row. No, 6-game sack streak. Matches Von Miller. Anytime you can utter the word Von Miller in our franchise history, it's a good thing. That dude from Oklahoma is a bad man. He's going to get cha-ching paid. I'm so excited to see the future of him. I can't wait to see him and Cooper paired together for the foreseeable future, which I truly think is going to happen. I think we will lock up Cooper. But dude,
absolutely,
Nick Bonito is stellar. Can't wait to see more of him. He's definitely getting my first game ball.
Okay. I mean, I love it. A lot. It's great. You know what? I'm going offensive on this one.
Richie, that's just the appetizer, bud.
Yeah, that's right. I'm giving my first game ball to Adam freaking Troutman.
Woo!
First time ever on this show, Adam Troutman, or honestly, a tight end in I don't know how long, has gotten the game ball on this show. So there it is. Adam Troutman, an Orange and Blue Network, MHRT Network, game ball. Dude absolutely killed it today. Let's see. I'm gonna look right here. 4 receptions for 85 yards, averaging 21.3 yards per catch. 1 touchdown, which he made with 1 hand.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was a thing of beauty. Not only did we open up our tight end play today, but Adam Troutman individually as a tight end, he set the new bar for the Broncos tight end room. I don't know. I have not seen enough up to this point to say that this is sustainable, to say that this is going to be consistent. But for the first time in a season, at least, we saw all the tight ends step up today, but we saw a tight end step up and make as many plays as he possibly could. Yes, Rich. I'm saying Troutman caught the balls with just one hand, and I'm going to give him one more right here.
Yeah.
There it is. Adam Troutman.
Deal with the other hand, Richie. Okay, so you can only occupy one at a time.
That's right. That's right. So, dude, Mark says, I'm happy with 2 balls, but I get it.
That's a really good one.
Adam Troutman gets a game ball.
Troutman for sure was probably the top performer. If you're going hockey in, 3 stars of the game.
Yeah, the 3 stars of the game. Yeah.
He's getting first star. He was dominant.
Absolutely.
And out of the ordinary. So my guy for my second ball is, I guess a guy that just, continues to progress, continues to, keep on keeping on. Mr. Bo Nix, a pedestrian 28 for 37, 284, 3 touchdowns, no turnovers, and a rushing touchdown. He looked comfortable in the second week of here's the training wheels off. We finally saw him with all right, I can digest this, Sean Payton. Throw me some more. I'm ready to go. Last week, he looked timid. He looked very unsure of himself with this playbook. He looks good to go now. And that's a massive, massive improvement for us when we look to the future of super good defenses and super good teams that are on the horizon. So I couldn't be more excited about the future.
And of course, not forgetting that he didn't today, but he can use his legs.
He can, but I'm glad we got to see a showcase of him not doing that. I know he can, but that doesn't mean I want to see that every game. I want to see him be confident in his mind and in Sean Payton's plays of get the guy open and find him. And we saw that today. So,
I will say this. We mentioned that his footwork looked better, that he did a good job of not of looking away and drawing off the safeties. But at the same time, another thing that we didn't really talk about was his progression. We saw him work through his progressions better today as well. Yeah. So again, every single facet of his passing game, we saw an improvement today.
Not wrong.
So I love it. So that's a great. I mean, it's an obvious one. It's obvious, Jay, but but it's a good one, and it totally makes sense, and it's well deserved. Let me see here. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna stick to offense on this one, and it may not be the most popular, but I'm going to give another one. I'm going to give one to Courtland Sutton.
Ooh.
Yeah, he had the fumble. That happened. However, we've been saying for the last several weeks that we were starting to see Courtland Sutton phasing out on this team. Then, we've been saying that Devon Vele and Troy Franklin and, our poor guy who's currently, been turned into Swiss cheese, Josh Reynolds, have been outdoing him, and we were seeing the writing on the wall for Courtland Sutton's departure from this franchise. However, today he led the team in receptions, 8 receptions for 100 yards, 12.5 yards per catch. No touchdowns, but he broke the 100 mark today, which we have not seen him do in almost a full season.
I was going to say, quite a long time.
So he broke the 100 yards today. Yeah, he had the fumble. I don't like that. But I'm still going to give him a game ball because he showed us I am not done yet. I am not obsolete. I am still here and I am still good to go. I don't know that means that next season we won't see him somewhere else. I'm not saying that at all. But what I am saying is he's not going down without a fight. And he showed that today. So, one for Courtland Sutton.
No, that's good. And as we transition to our very last game ball here, I just want to bring up a couple things. But let's be repping saying, hey, remember Jake Butt? And we mentioned Jake Butt on our Nothing Rhymes podcast
all the time
on Tuesday.
Yeah, we do.
Butt wide open. We didn't see it. It was sad. We compared that on Tuesday night to Pantene, Greg Dulcich, as just being absolutely brutally terrible.
As being one of the biggest draft busts in our history.
Bad stuff. Without 2 balls, your wife or girlfriend will not be too happy. Sports Media 100, and you can bet on that.
Well, I mean, I've already given her 3 kids, so at this point, it's moot.
She should be thankful.
She should be very thankful. Oh, that's funny.
Mark also says it's good to see PS2 back and healthy, and obviously active with that pick. That's really good stuff. Richie says, I'll go with defense. Let me ask both of you this. When did we hear anyone say, man, we miss Simmons? Never! The Denver safeties have been great.
They have been great, but I do miss Simmons.
I don't.
Not for his play. I'm not talking about his play. When I say I miss Simmons, you know the relationship I have on a personal level with Justin Simmons. And I miss him. I just miss him on this team.
He's coming back. I want to say it's in a month or 3 weeks. He's coming back.
But when I say that I miss him, I'm not saying I miss him for his play. I mean, he was a great player. But even better than a player, he was a great person. I miss the person that is Justin Simmons. And he and I are still friends. We actually spoke. We actually chatted a little bit in the DMs just about 4 days ago. Great, amazing guy. I just miss seeing him in orange and blue for the reason.
He does say he is a great person. The comment is about his play.
Absolutely. You couldn't be more right, Rich. The safeties have stepped up in a big way in his absence. Brandon Jones today, man. How about Brandon Jones, baby? How about Brandon Jones?
Out of his mind, and he's deservatory of the money that was spent on him.
12 led the team, 12 total tackles, 7 of them solo. Woo!
Yeah.
So
it's a big deal. Our secondary has been terrific, and that's with PJ Locke not playing today. Devon Key, I believe, got his very first start, and I guess I didn't see any key plays out of him, but we didn't see any huge, catastrophes from him. So I guess I kind of say that to say it's a good thing when you don't hear his name in the secondary role.
It is. It is.
It's okay.
Okay. So it's your turn to give your third game ball. Mm-hmm.
Yep. Last game ball, and I'm gonna go off kilter here. And I'm gonna give a game ball to Sean Payton because I've been a very big Sean Payton critic, and I'm pleasantly surprised to see Sean Payton continuing to feed our offense with a high IQ playbook when we don't necessarily have all of the players to play that philosophy. Bo Nix, I have all the confidence in the world. I wouldn't have necessarily dubbed Adam Troutman to be a guy that should be trusted with the routes that we gave him today. But he showed up and played, out of his mind. Sean Payton continues to be a wild card of a coach, play calling wise. That's why we hired him. That's why we gave him carte blanche of roster moves, essentially, to build the culture and to build this team in his eyes. And,
absolutely.
Last game ball to, the architect of the culture that we have building here.
Yeah, I'm here. I love it. I wouldn't say you stole mine, but it was one that I was wrestling with being my last one of the day. And Rich does come in talking about Devon Key real quick. J0. Go back and watch y'all 22. Yeah, now here's the thing. There were only 2 passes defensed by this team today, which is somewhat indicative of the terrible play of Bryce Young. But
Young sucks.
Yes, he does.
Let's be frank.
But if you do
offense
think about
was
the fact,
disorganized and had no idea what they were doing.
If we do go back and watch Devon Key in this game, he was all over his assignments. He was where he needed to be. He was tight defense. He was successfully eliminating eliminating targets for the Panthers. So he did a very good job. I'm going to bring up this last comment because it plays into my final game ball.
Ooh.
And Bobby Kraut says PS2 needs more action. Okay,
Bobby?
I agree, but I also disagree. I hear what you're saying, but I disagree. And here's why. PS2 gets my third game ball.
Ooh.
All right. It's kind of an almost an obvious one, just like Bo Nix. Almost too easy, but I'm also for one thing, I'm rocking a PS2 jersey right now. I love PS2. Granted, everybody in Broncos country with a brainstem should love PS2. However, space, he doesn't need more action because the player that he is, the ability he has, essentially eliminates the action. He is so good at covering his targets and is so good at defending those targets and intercepting and either defending the pass or intercepting the pass that quarterbacks do not throw his way. They choose not to. They see him and they go, nope, not happening. And that is because of how good he is. So I like what you're saying, Bobby. PS2 is the man. He is the myth, and he is a future legend. But I don't think he needs more action because more action for him means he's not doing his job as well as he is. If that makes any sense at all.
Yeah.
But the reason he gets today's game ball is we're talking about a dude who on the first play of a game bounced his head off the turf and ended up with a concussion and was out for 2 games. Came back with people questioning, will he look like himself when he comes back? Had a little struggle right out the gate, but quickly caught up to the leaders on the track and caught and intercepted the ball. And I fought between giving him or Jaquan McMillan the game ball each for their interceptions.
Yeah.
But I'm giving it to PS2 because coming off that concussion, a lot of different things could have happened. And in this case, he maintained who he is, even coming out of 2 weeks off and a potentially dangerous injury.
Sure.
So all the big shout out to PS2.
And to that, Richie says, the question isn't about PS2. It's about the other cornerbacks. Since PS2 is being avoided, and since they've held up, the other CBs have clearly done great. And I'm sure what he probably means in that is that Damari Mathis has inspired that entire room to come out and play so phenomenal that, Riley Moss, even though we didn't necessarily see a massive play out of him today, he played well. He didn't necessarily get burned.
No, he never got burned.
And obviously McMillian,
as we have named,
legend.
Which by the way, Moss and Surtain, as we have named them on this network, the Yin Yang twins.
Yeah. They're a throw-in. They're gonna be great, but McMillian, I love the guy. I love what he does.
Do you love him enough to stop talking about Damari Mathis? Please.
No.
For the love of God.
We'll see in the offseason.
Yeah.
No, at the end of the day, man, PS2 is a freak of nature. What was the comment up here? It was Bobby. Bobby Kraut says PS2 needs to be the NFL version of Travis Hunter. Imagine if they were on the same team.
Oh.
Shoot.
Woo.
But yeah, not gonna lie.
But here's the thing: he's a great corner. Travis Hunter, as a Buffs fan, Travis Hunter's an incredible corner. I want him as a wide receiver, though.
Yeah, PS2's on a whole different level, but it's what it means to the team. PS2 is a non-offensive player that sets the tone for an entire team, and that's a rare thing in the NFL.
Which is what we see. Which we saw when he got hurt against the Chargers. The whole team was deflated.
Yep.
Like
correct.
It crashed and burned. The moment that you see the guy that you look to, like him, for leadership, for inspiration go down, this whole team collapsed. That is the effect. That is the Pat Surtain effect. It's similar to the Von Miller effect. When Von Miller was here, when Von Miller was the man. You know, but you're right. You don't see that from defensive players often. It's almost always the offensive player who's the face of the franchise. And while Bo Nix is rapidly up and coming as the face of this franchise, I would almost deign to claim that him and Pat Surtain will share face of the franchise responsibilities.
Oh my God!
Yeah,
because you can't downplay just how good he is.
You're not wrong. And you know, we're gonna need both sides of that coin as we move forward here with very tough games coming up.
Yes.
The cakewalk is over, folks. So I'm glad that we got the positive vibes and the positive feels to this game. The feelings that we got to buck were all positive today, right, Johnny?
Absolutely. I mean, real quick, I'm just going to throw up the video real quick. That was who's got the ball. But no, absolutely. That was who's got the balls. I think all the game balls that were given by everyone in the chat and ourselves included were all very deserved and very important. You know, you're right. The cakewalk is over, Jay. Okay, like we just left the church Halloween party. Yeah, that's right. I'm making this reference.
Bruh.
The church Halloween party where we got to do the cakewalk and go home with a cake. All right. Now we're going to our friend who lives in the woods Halloween party that your parents aren't supposed to find out about, and we're about to do the coal walk. Okay, we're about to do the coal walk, walking across the hot coals in bare feet. Okay, this is going to be tough. This is going to be tough, but you know what? We're riding the momentum, guys. We are 5-3. We are 5-3.
Would never have guessed that.
That cannot be understated.
Would not have guessed that at the beginning of the year. At this point in time, I would not have guessed we were 2 games above 500.
No, it is a huge step in the right direction for us. So you know what?
Opportunity in front of us.
Yeah, we have a lot of great opportunity in front of us, and I have all the faith in the world that this team can get it done. Now, whether they do or not, that remains to be seen. However, the potential that this team has and the opportunities that they have, if they can meld opportunity with potential and come out on top, this team is going to be the surprise team of the NFL. It already kind of is. It's not getting talked about, and it won't, because let's be honest, we all know it as Broncos fans. The national media hates us.
Yeah.
Okay. But like, the fact is, right now, we're the surprise team of the NFL. Nobody could have predicted the Broncos would be 5-3 right now. Nobody. Sports media popping in saying, Johnny called it church. I call it Jason season. Well, hey, no, listen, I love Halloween. I used to assistant manage a haunted house. I love Halloween. I love scaring people. I love all of that stuff. I'm here for all of it. Horror movies are my jam. However, I am also a church-going man, so I do remember the church Halloween parties with all the fun little games. Jay, you and I used to go to those together as kids. You know, the throwing the darts, the balloons to get candy and stuff like that, and then they had the cakewalk. I had to make the cakewalk joke because you made the cake. You mentioned cakewalk, but
speaking of scary takes, Blitz be repping Mathis is a trash can, and I just won't have it. I won't have it.
Although Jay, while Blitz says Mathis is a trash can, I will say Mathis is if Mathis is a trash can, he's one of those high-end trash cans with the motion sensor where you can wave your hand over the top and the lid opens up for you. You know, he's not the wastebasket sitting in the corner of my bathroom. He's the one in the kitchen that I spent $80 on.
He's an AI trash can.
Yeah, if he's a trash can, he's a good trash can. He's just maybe not, the one I want on the field. So to speak.
So, Johnny, with that, I know we're going to transition to next week, and I'm glad to get this behind us because
I'm ready for the real season, like real opponents, big stuff here. Next week's going to be a great test. I'm really excited to see our team with what we have built up thus far. But what Bobby says, I feel like Sean might experiment with PS2 eventually. Either way, they'll go freaking Broncos. About damn time. Nice waking up Monday morning to a Bronco win. And we got positive vibes for the rest of the week. It's big stuff on the horizon.
I love me Victory Monday. Blitz has one last question I think we should field before we get out of here, if that's all right.
Absolutely.
He wants to know, is there actually a shot we get Travis Hunter in the draft?
Nope.
Nope. Here's the thing. The only chance we have of getting Travis Hunter is having a top 10 pick.
Yep, that's over.
And listen, if we have any more success this season, he'll be a top 5. And we're not, we're successful enough right now. There's no chance, and we're not going to trade up for him either.
Nope. That ship has sailed.
As much as a Buffs fan and a Bronco fan and just a Travis Hunter fan, because he is such a unique talent. There has not been a talent like him since his coach Deion Sanders in the NFL. Going into the NFL, it has not happened. He is so unique. It's a multi-generational talent kind of thing. You don't see that happen at all.
Yep.
But given our current success and the fact that I don't think we're going to see that success just plummet and us go the rest of the season winless for the rest of the season. No, we have no chance of landing Travis Hunter.
Too bad, so bad. But with that, Johnny, it's been a pleasure. I've certainly bucked my feelings. Feeling good. Feel good for the rest of the week.
They were good feelings.
Absolutely. But with that, ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Buck Your Feelings post-game show. Please check out our Tuesday night show, Nothing Rhymes with Orange and Blue, on the Orange and Blue Network, as well as Broncos Talk with the 6'10" Diaz. And please like, share, subscribe the Orange and Blue Network here, as well as our partner in crime, the MHRT Network, where please like and subscribe that channel as well with all their terrific content. Johnny, it's been a pleasure, sir. Go Broncos, go!
Go Broncos!
You betcha!